Okay, so welcome to the coffee break. Today is the episode 3 of the coffee break. This is a open space for Forge topics to understand what's going on, ask questions. My name is Augusto Gonçalves. I'm part of the Forge Advocates team, and I have here with me two special guests, Jim Quancy and Jaime Rosales also from the Forge team. Good morning, guys. I hope you have your coffee mugs with you. And
I actually just finished mine.
Me too.
it's always a time for a second one, right? Uh,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. So as I said, this is an open space for questions, for general topics on Forge, and also to discuss a few things that are going on. So let me start with this, right? I see Whitney, William, and Viet, also Fernando joining. Do you have any topics to bring up? Any questions? Any points that you'd like to bring up to the table?
And do keep in mind, if your English is rough, you could ask questions in chat, and that'll work
Yes.
perfectly fine. Or if you happen to speak Portuguese or Spanish, we can handle that too.
Yeah, that's true.
So if nobody has anything, I can talk about something.
Oh yeah,
Well,
please.
well,
What
Jaime,
do you
I'd be
have?
curious. How's the AEC hackathon going?
Yeah, that's actually what
Yeah,
I was gonna talk
that's my
about.
next. Yeah.
So it is going pretty well actually. It's been getting busier. I guess we started with the webinars last week. I had in the first one I had around 130 registrations for the getting started with Forge. Uh, I even like published that into the YouTube channel that I have now. I don't want to call myself a YouTuber, but yeah, it's actually
But you
starting
are a
to happening.
YouTuber now. Don't be shy.
It sounds like it, yeah. And then for the next one, which was the BIM 360 integrations, that one we had around 145 registrations for it as well. At some point, we ended up live people like some number around 80 participants, something like that. So it was actually a good number. It was a busy queue, to be honest, but I have managed to kind of like get along the way with 1 hour and 30 minutes to do the demonstration about the stuff that we were working on with the platform and how to get started. So they have already a number of views, the video, so that's actually pretty nice. And on Friday, we started with the lighting rounds and also the team introductions. There are still some teams getting formed. I've been having a couple of calls over the past, what day is today? Wednesday? Yes. So sorry, I'm a bit lost with my days now. But yeah, so I already had a couple of calls. I see a couple of really cool potential customers working on, well, actually participants, but for me, they're participant customers, friends, everything at the end. Um, One of them actually from Brazil, I just finished a call with them that they want to use design automation in order to do some cool projects. So I gave them a demo of the stuff that I have using design automation, and they were quite happy with what they saw because it solves a good chunk of what they're looking for. So
Yeah. Great.
yeah, the
I've been a
other
little frustrated trying to see the lightning round video. I know
uh,
Damon was trying to sort out what's wrong there. So guys like me can go, what are the projects? I can't tell.
I
yeah,
think that's the
so
website, right?
yeah, that's the website, correct. And that's the other thing though, like if you notice the support Forge channel that we have, it's been quiet, but if you see my private messages, oh my god, they're like blowing up every single
Yeah.
day. Like I wake up to a couple of good notifications, I go to sleep and there's still some stuff in there. So it's been getting busy, it's been getting
Yeah.
traction. I was excited to see people considering the platform in order to participate in the solutions. And then we also have the two challenges, which kind of makes them a little bit
What are
more
the challenges?
attractive. So we have a challenge on the best use of the BIM 360 API. Not only the BIM 360 API, but also the data management used to access BIM 360 docs, and then just kind of like give power to your BIM data using the platform in general. And then the other one, it's the best use of automation. So using design automation for the construction industry in order to solve a day-to-day problem that they may have, or just a problem that someone was able to identify that we still don't have, and they can build a solution for it. So I have about 3 or 4 teams already working on some of those challenges. So it's going along pretty well.
And the prize is $2,000 for each?
Yes. So prizes are $2,000 in Amazon gift cards. So let's say if it's a team of 3, they kind of like split up pretty nice. Now, if there is a team of 10, I'll say that's still $200 in Amazon. I could easily use some of that. So yeah.
So Jaime, be aware, we may have a limit of not being able to give any one person more than $600
Oh yeah, I know.
without the whole 1099 tax.
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know.
Is there any way to walk the floor, so to speak, to see the different projects, or is it just a lightning round and you got to go from there?
Yeah. So I've been trying to think how can we achieve this in order for them to speak up a little bit more about what they're trying to do. There is a team introductions channel, which I'm pretty sure you're
Oh, I've been browsing that, but usually you walk the floor and you kind of stick your head in and going, hey, I'm from Autodesk, anything I can help with? What are you up to? How do you do that?
It's a limitation at the moment, to be honest. Like this transition into virtual events and all that, it is quite a limitation. You're not sharing anymore, let's say, a slice of pizza on a Friday night and talking about what they're planning to do, or later on just taking a break in the kitchen to just hear a little bit more about what they're planning or what they're struggling with, and maybe you can give them a pointer.
Yeah.
So they should have a coffee break too.
So, actually, I was actually thinking about proposing something like that, and I was thinking to do it maybe Friday, like around noonish, because it can be coffee break early for the West Coast, or afternoon tea or coffee, whatever they do in Europe, depending what they're joining. So I was thinking about actually proposing something like that, because we're interested about learning more. How can we help them? So Jim, actually, I can actually ask you for a favor then. I've been thinking about starting to promote maybe some of the content that we have in order to kind of like spark up their mind. What are the capabilities of the platform? We have people like, for example, Moicon, Scale Robotics, and so on, that they're going to be doing presentation. King Wamsley also next week. But if we can start giving them, I guess, some best uses or best cases that you may have in your 1,000 tabs that you have open most of the time. So I'm pretty sure we can give them something.
Yeah, so if you do a coffee break on Friday, just let me know. I could drop in and, open it up. Like the group, like this coffee break.
Yeah.
Fernando, William, Viet, Whitney, if there's kind of anything you're interested in or wondering about, between Jaime Augusto and myself, we probably are familiar with maybe 100 different code samples to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I had something. So last week, I exchanged a couple of mails with Jeremy from 3ds Max team.
Mm-hmm.
So he said they did push an update to the Forge viewer with some improved materials. Actually, they depend on the 2021 update 1 from 3ds Max, so you can upload those physical materials.
Yeah.
And he said, and I actually opened the link he sent. It's not working anymore, unfortunately. But the materials look way better. So do you know more about it? Your plan is going to be spread out across all viewer versions?
So I don't think it's going to be across all viewer versions. It might actually be part of one of the new viewer versions. So in order to address that kind of access to the material. So I guess this could be something that could, I don't know, incentivize someone to actually move into newer versions of the viewer to take advantage of that functionality. So maybe the link that he sent you was pointing out to some sort of like sneak peek pre-access. We kind of know you, Fernando, so I'm pretty sure we gave you some little sneak peek there. So yeah, we can find out more about it. Like I'm sure that there is some things that that are very interested for the rest of the group that later on we can talk more.
Yeah, because right now we are using kind of the one recipe that James Greiger is him, Augusto, that you introduced me. I think he works with Cyril. So he kind of provided us a sample code for creating, those materials within the Forge Viewer. But it was kind of undocumented at that time. So I'm not sure if that's going to change with this new improvement they did in Max.
It's absolutely going to change, and it's going to be officially supported. And you'll be able to use it through design automation. So you may know these two people already, Fernando, Dennis Gregor and Kevin Vandekar. I was talking to Kevin about this enhancement on Monday. This is absolutely coming, and it will be something you can use. And I think Dennis and Kevin will be able to let you know now, next week, next month, exactly when this is going to be. What version of the viewer will it, officially be supported?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And I would suggest that I can have them join in this session next time. But do you know we have a way to book appointments with the team, right? Which gives me to get my queue here. So anyone, right? You can just go to calendly.com/AutoDeskForge and find the person you're looking for. Let's say Kevin right here, or Dennis Gregor, right? So let's say Dennis. This is his expertise. So just click on his name, find a time. Let's say next week, Monday. He will be available 7 a.m. This is my time. For you will be 11 a.m. I guess. So just find a person, find the time, and book it. And you can have like 30 minutes to discuss whatever questions you have.
Sure, I would be doing this.
I just dropped the URL in chat if you just wanted to copy and paste that URL.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. Now you don't need to wait. But, if you have a question. But, yeah, sometimes it's nice to pick an exact person who you know is available.
Sure.
Yeah. You also have a one-on-one time with them, right? It's if you drop in a message, that will also work.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, as Jaime was saying, maybe it would be better with a pizza and a beer. But that works as well.
Definitely better, right?
Definitely.
Cool.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No, but so in summarize, I guess the hackathon it's moving along. It's going pretty well.
We're kind of spoiled by our Forge accelerators.
Yes.
Where we got the Slack channel set up, we can see what people are doing. We know their projects. We can just drop in and say, "Can I help?"
Yeah. No, I know. I told Damon about it, but I think he was very busy with all the organization and he forgot that I offered.
Yeah.
So maybe next one.
Our hackathon will be end of August, right? The Rapa Nui. So that will be a chance for people here.
Accelerator, not hackathon.
Accelerate. Yeah, well.
Third week of August? Fourth week of August?
Last week of August. I have no idea how many weeks August will have, but yeah, the last one.
Will be like a year.
So what you really want to save I hope this isn't a bad metaphor, you want to save some dry powder for, is we're going to have a hackathon accelerator the week before AU, Autodesk University, and we're going to do the best of the best demos and announcing winners during AU, where potentially partners would get in front of thousands of people, kind of seeing what they built. Yeah.
That's gonna be good. That
would be a true hackathon, right?
Yeah. I had some customer that he's as a mentor in the AEC hackathon, and he's like, "You're giving $2,000 for a hack?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, I might just start joining the hackathons instead of the accelerators." I told him we're gonna have one, I guess, the week of before AU, so just keep an eye on it, and that way, you get a chance to work on your project, get support, plus get a prize. So,
and I think more importantly will be, if you do something that you really want to turn into something commercial, You could have dozens of potential customers reaching out to you going, I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good exposure, I guess, because you're not only gonna get like in the same way that the AC hackathon works, right? You open up the floor to not only the developer community, but also the ones with experience in the industry as well, because they just kind of complement
Yeah.
each other. So
So this may be more on the scale of like a TechCrunch hackathon, really big and a lot of exposure.
yeah, why not?
Yeah. That should be coming to our blog very soon for you to register. Just stay tuned to that. Jim is always looking forward to what's coming. There are a few more things that happened over the last few weeks. Maybe I think one of the interesting things last week was the new tutorial for design automation in Node.js. Jaime was helping reviewing that, and that's now live. So yeah, you can start trying that. That was actually a very big request from our last training. We did a Forge training end of April. That was like 4 days. Was very interesting with a lot of people from many different locations.
Yes.
And maybe the highest request during the
Was the
training was the
Node.js.
Node.js tutorial. Now we have it, and we are planning to have another training mid to late October. That will be a very busy time around AU. So if you're getting started with Forge and you need live support to help you complete the tutorials, mid to late October. Yeah, stay tuned on our blog. We're going to announce that very soon.
We also had the voting for AU classes, right? It just
I think
finished.
that ended the day before yesterday, right?
Yeah, something like that. I
July
don't know.
13th.
I'm pretty sure, Fernando, did you submitted something?
No, not this year. I'm
Really?
super
on.
busy.
But we are going to finish the selection, working on the selection soon, and yeah, that will be an interesting year. By the way, AU this year will be free, I heard, right? So anyone can attend for free. Yeah, that will be interesting.
I'm interested to see how many people is going to attend, right? Compared to the usual 10, 12,000 records,
Yeah.
you know?
No beers again, man. That's still the
Yeah,
challenge,
that's it.
right? So
Yeah.
Well, with the money from the registration, you can buy some beers.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can give you my address, Fernando.
So yeah, AU this year will be free, which is kind of interesting. I think I have this here, right? That's the blog post on it, and yeah, I was also mentioning the design automation tutorial, which is available now, and you can try the code in Node.js. It was available before in .NET. Now it's that will complete the top 2 languages we have. And there are a few other things going on with BIM 360. This was released a couple weeks ago. I think that was the day of the previous coffee break, so that's why I didn't discuss that one. But that's quite interesting. Have a new RFI API available in BIM 360 if you haven't tried that one.
Cool. Yeah, it's good
the
to
one
have
that
the
is
RFI API back, right?
Yeah, that's the version 2.
Yeah. I mean, an improved one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing that is not listed there is the activity report API. Let me refresh this. I was just working with that API that you can get all the actions you did in BIM 360. I know it's very specific to the product, but it's interesting to see how active someone is on the account, right? So this is loading all my projects, and after that I can see on the side how many actions they did inside the project, which can help me understand, if that person is really working or not doing anything relevant. I think the next step on this sample will be to really list what they did instead of just showing how many actions
last
they
sign
did.
in and all that stuff. Can
Well,
you
yeah,
scroll
the last
down? I'm
last
curious
sign in
about
is
my
here.
curious about my name.
I mean, wants to see
You really-
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you, Jaime.
What? That's not true. I was in there. Just
I was
Yeah.
there 19 days ago. Got you beat. I mean,
Just got exposed. Jaime.
I know. I was just setting up stuff for people in the hackathon. How is that possible? I think it's your app. Buggy.
No, yeah, that's the actual sign in, right? If you're just coming back, it doesn't count.
Oh yeah, well, so yeah, in that case, I've been on it for quite some time.
Yeah. So what's
Which
we
project is
have
this
on-
for? Is this for the dev?
say again?
Which project is that tracking the usage for?
This is the entire account.
Which
So
hub?
all the projects, the Forge sample hub we have.
Okay,
Okay,
because I
something
use
is
like
not
3 hubs.
something is not working here. Let me. Oh, did I stop the sample? I think I did. That's why it's not loading as it should, right? Let me try again.
Ah, you see.
Well, it's localhost. Come on.
Yeah.
Why? Come on, sample.
So our
Look at
audience,
that.
questions, anything of interest?
I have one, Jim. So, do you have any plans to add generative design APIs in the Forge ecosystem?
Depends on what you mean. There's no specific plan to add a generative design web service. Now, clearly, as we build generative design into the design automation engines, like Revit and Inventor, they'll be usable kind of within that server context. Now, the fact you ask, it does come up. It absolutely comes up. We have that question internally right now. A lot of our generative design stuff was really built to run on a client, and not as kind of a standalone service. The other thing with generative design is it's kind of like FEA analysis, where in FEA, depending on what you're doing, linear, nonlinear, physics-based, you have different solvers. In generative design is the exact same way. You basically have a different solver based on, the context you're in. And again,
Yeah.
so it's not like one size fits all. We imagine over time, where today we have a handful of solvers that, there might be 50, 15, 20, 30 kind of different solvers suitable for specific generative design use cases. And we've talked about, enabling anyone to kind of build your own generative design solver. So you could have a library of generative design solvers. And depending on kind of what you're trying to do, you can kind of pick the most appropriate solver.
I'm asking that because I'm, referring to refinery project was kind of separating the input from the processing. If I remember correctly, they have NSGA 2 or 3 algorithm in their server side, and you submit your input data, how many, generations you want, and collect the results back. So I was wondering if, an API like that, more, agnostic, would be useful,
So I'm not aware of a specific plan to do that. The other part of me says at some point we'll get there, just because of the way we build things.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely get, with refinery and what Office Desk does, this ability to lay out a floor space or to relay it out in these COVID days.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's funny, we had an internal hackathon and it wasn't just about laying it out, it was helping people book a space and get from, the front door to their office space without running into too many people. Assigning them a desk kind of on the fly. And that kind of borders on what you guys do, right? So
yeah, it's an optimization problem, right?
Yeah, and I imagine your customers not just lay it out to help sell it, but lay it out and help the customer use it.
Yeah, but we are seeing some interesting aspects on this because some manufacturers, they are prioritizing screens and panels. They're selling a lot because, whoever does have an open plan office, they need to turn into a private space, right? With dividers, screens, whatever they can do it. It's an interesting, plot twist in the design.
Yeah, it reminds me of here in San Francisco. I live from a kind of a restaurant shopping area, Chestnut Street, um, and all the restaurants are popping up these wood structures in the parking space, with separators and I think half the curb space on Chestnut Street is now areas for restaurants.
Like external areas with
Yeah.
some booth
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, a month ago there were none, and now it's like wall to wall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hi, this is Whitney. So good morning. I did attend your training earlier this year, and it was very good, by the way. And so I did start. I don't have any code or something to share. I don't know enough yet, I guess, but we have an internal, basically, it's called SitePro. It's for work package management, IWP, AWP. It's an internally developed, and there's no visualization in it. I integrated the Navisworks API and engine, and it works well, but you obviously have to have simulate or manage installed. So what I'm doing right now is a proof of concept is integrating your Forge viewer using Ceph Sharp WPF library, and then able to give the guys at the site able to visually see their installation work packages using your viewer. It's working right now. It's the big thing I'm having trouble with is going, it's a WPF C# app and then going back and forth to the viewer in JavaScript. But I'm having fun with it so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you just for fun, if you wanted some inspiration, have you seen what the guys at Blacksmith Soft have done around
No.
advanced work packaging? So let me, I'll drop a link in chat. And you just may go browse, and if anything, I view this as it's an inspiration on kind of what's possible. And these guys have been, I don't know, maybe it's been a year and a half. Yeah, you should check. There's a few. Do I know 2 or 3 kind of companies that are applying Forge to advanced work packaging in some very different ways. Yeah.
And on the technical side, you're talking Ceph Sharp, right? That works well with the viewer. We do have a few samples using that to create a .NET desktop application.
Right.
And it also works well with because it can run JavaScript code inside the viewer from your application, but you do have to pre-code some of that so you can execute that JavaScript code inside Ceph Sharp. And Ceph Sharp is really one of the best options out there because the built-in browser that you see on .NET is based on Internet Explorer, which is very old and outdated. So that's why Ceph Sharp is the option here. Yeah, well done. That's the right way.
Yeah, so far, I mean, it's been fun. It's I'm able to bring up some rather large models, color code the work packaging is, they have all the installation dates, and I'm able to then take those dates and color code the model based on the installation date so they can see the status and everything. Like I said, it's been fun so far. Obviously, I used some of your demos out there, and the next thing I have to tackle is they want to do markup. And I was able to print, so they can print and then save the screen view. I got that working, but now they want to do markups and save the markup information so they can then the people at the site will be able to view it.
Yeah.
And the
Makes
markups
sense.
seem to be a little bit getting the markup extension to load properly. I was having a little bit of trouble with that. I'm sure it's just something I'm doing. I'm being
So,
stupid.
yeah, we have a blog post. No, yeah, we
Don't say that.
yeah, don't say. So I was saying that we have a very old blog post on markups, and I think just yesterday Adam published a new one on it, and we are planning to have that better documented, which is thanks for the feedback there. So if you can send us your email, right, or contact us via forgehelp@autodesk.com, forge.help@autodesk.com. We can send you the draft of this new blog post that we are writing on the markup extension, or help you with any questions. We just mentioned before the Calendly option. You can book a time with us, and we can help you review the code you have and make it get it working.
Okay.
Don't be
Definitely.
bashful. We're gonna help.
So again, calendly.com/Autodesk Forge.
So Whitney, is your app, is it about a management thing, or somebody on the actual fabrication floor building up a spool, or kind of on the work face?
No, it's not the management. It's the people, I guess, more. Well, they're out at the, I guess it is the management. It's the people, they are trying to manage the work packages and then create these, be able to view them and create these. To be honest, I'm new to the application. They just kind of handed it to me. Somebody quit and they said, here.
So
But
they
it's
planning work for the day, and it's like, hey,
Yes,
we're gonna install these new
exactly.
spools.
Planning
and
work
where
for the
are
week.
they?
Planning work
okay.
for the week, or whatever their installation, week, 2 weeks for installing this module. Basically, these are big LNG plants,
Cool.
or some of them are fossil power, but these huge LNG trains that installation may go over a couple of weeks. So it's creating these packages so you can give them to the work crews.
Down in Texas or Louisiana?
Yeah,
or-
well, a lot of them are in Texas. Some of them are I'm actually in North Carolina. Some of them are in North Carolina, and then we do a bunch of offshore stuff also.
North Carolina, it's just like shale gas coming off, fracking kind of things. Interesting.
Yeah, thank you. Well, quite interesting, Whitney. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think just a bit over time. So just see if you have any other questions.
Hi, sorry, I don't think
hi.
I've been using Forge for long enough to have many questions. I'm
That's
just
okay.
still,
Yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah, anyway.
yeah, just a quick one because so far I've
Mhm.
been just adapting your code sample for the BIM 360 generation solution.
Mhm.
Another one is using a token in a MongoDB database to refresh the authentication. I'm just
Mhm.
wondering, will that token be at any time expired, or would it be there forever and I can always use it to refresh?
So the refresh token. So the samples we have used in Mongo, the samples use the Mongo database to keep track of the access token and refresh token, right?
Yeah.
The reason is I don't want to get a new access token if the access token is still valid. So that's why I have this database to check for it. And when the access token expires, I use the refresh token to get a new access token. What happens is when you use the refresh token, you get a new access token and a new refresh token, right? And you have to store that new refresh token again. The refresh token can only be used once to get a new access token, and the refresh token is only valid for 14 days. So let's say I sign in today, you can use the refresh token to get a new access token, get a new refresh token as well. And you have to run this routine every 14 days to renew your access, right?
I see. Yeah, yeah. So that's 14 days. That's what I wanted to know.
14 days.
Yes.
Yeah, that's long enough. Hopefully.
Yeah. So as long as you keep the refresh token, you can always get this new access token. Make sure that you store the new values that this will give you, because in that way, before that 14-day gap actually finishes, you can just regenerate in order to keep an active session on it. But I guess as a best practice also, if it goes for too long, you don't want to keep a user logged in if they haven't like logged in like 6 months or something like that. So you kind of prompt them to actually do this authentication again. But this is how you will basically control the workflow of your application.
Yeah, I see.
Viet, are you in Singapore?
I know I'm in the UK. I'm in London.
In London? You got like a Singapore accent.
Yeah, I'm from Vietnam originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
This,
sharing you a link here.
Is Adam somewhere near London? Adam Nagy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is in
Farnborough.
Farnborough.
No,
I see.
he's in Portsmouth.
Oh,
he
moved?
moved. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah. He works at a home and he's not in Portsmouth, but he's in the area. He's kind of half on a farm.
I see.
Huh.
So yeah, this is just a blog post describing what I just mentioned to you,
Yeah,
including the 14 days that I just mentioned.
yeah. Thank you. I'll save it straight away.
Yeah, it's on the chat as well.
Yeah,
Just make sure
that's
you
great.
grab the link, because when we finish the call, it's going to wipe out.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Cool. All right, thank you.
So we're good?
So yeah, with that, let me just announce the next one. So the next coffee break will be same time, same day of the week on July 29. So you're doing every 2 weeks. So July 29, see you again here. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, night, and talk to you very soon in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
See you then.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Obrigado.
guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Just in time.
Yeah, just in time.
All right,
Food
see
or
ya.
diaper? Which is it?
Oh,
Always food, always food.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Bye
All
bye.
right, take care.
yeah,
Bye.
bye bye.